teaching you about what the BIOS is. So, I'm going to first teach you how to get into the BIOS, and then once we're in, I'll show you, I'll tell you all about it. So, here I am on Windows 10. So, to get into the BIOS on any computer that's like a Windows computer or like a Linux computer, it's fairly easy. But Apple products, Macs, it's a lot harder. But we are going to be learning how to do it on a regular PC to get into the BIOS. So, all you have to do, first let's start with just get it in. So, enter your password, get in. Sorry, haven't used this computer in a while. Forgot the passcode. So wait for that to load. Okay, and here we are. We are in our computer. So now we're not actually going to do anything in Windows 10. But before I do this, it's got to happen fast. So I'm going to tell you how to get in. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go over here. You're going to hit the power button. And you're going to restart your computer. Okay? But here's the thing. When you restart your computer, it should say something like press F2 to enter setup, press escape to enter setup. Something like that. You gotta see it, because depending on the speed of your computer, it may go by really, really fast. I know on this computer it's F2, I think, but if it doesn't say it, you could either look it up online for your motherboard, see what it is to get into the BIOS, but it is usually F12, F2, or escape. But, let's do it. Here we go. Okay. Now I'm going to go over here. Bang. That. Power button. And we're going to restart. As soon as this screen goes away, you should start hitting the key that you need to get into your motherboard, or your BIOS. Sorry. Okay. So, it'll make that beep, and I'll show it to you. So as you can see here, I do not have a mouse. So you have to use the arrows, depending on the age of your computer. Nowadays, like on my main PC, it uses something called UEFI, which is, it has a mouse, it's a little bit more modern. I'll show you that at the end of the video, but this is old enough that we're going to use BIOS. So, we got in, and if you can see right here, it said at the bottom what to do to enter the BIOS. But here we are. So now you can use the arrows to get around. So now we start. What is the BIOS? Well, the BIOS is a piece of software that is installed on your system's motherboard. So it's not like Windows 10 or Windows 11 that's installed in your hard drive. This is installed directly into the motherboard. BIOS stands for Basic Input-Output System, and it is actually very helpful when you're doing things like installing new operating systems. For example, let's say we were going to reinstall Windows 10 on this thing. So we have our bootable USB drive. If you want to learn how to do that, link in the description. But you could go here, you can choose what it boots from. Tell it to boot from the right device. So here we would move removable devices to the top, which is already at the top. You can also change some security settings. I don't recommend doing that, but you can like set up a password or something. And in the modern, for example, a big thing about Windows 11 installing it, you have to go into your BIOS and change a setting usually to get Windows 11 to work, because you have to install a, you don't have to install anything, but you have to turn a security feature on. But yeah, you can change things like the system time, the system date, change a lot of things about hard drive. It has a lot of things to do with the boot process, because this deals with everything. This is where you change the boot process and all that. It's also pretty good for diagnostics, because you can see values of things, all that. But that's what the BIOS is. And once you're in the BIOS, be very careful what you change, because if you change something, you could ruin your computer. So if you accidentally hit something and you don't know what it was before, don't worry. Just go over to exit. Instead of hitting exit saving changes, hit exit discarding changes, and it won't save anything you did, which is what we want to do sometimes. So that's it for what the BIOS is. I hope you learned something today, and thank you for watching.